everybody, and welcome to another amazing video on this sports channel. And so today we're going to be doing the official recap of week 5 of the NFL season, episode 2 of Hudson's Huddle. So first we got to get started off with the fun fact of the day. But we don't really have a fun fact, it's really just a fact today. But the Falcons have fired head coach Dan Quinn and GM Thomas Dimitroff. I feel like the Falcons, I kind of expected this because I feel like they're in a win now mode. And I feel like if Dan Quinn didn't win, they would have been fired. And so, yeah, I was kind of expecting this. A lot of other people were expecting this. They took a couple hard shots this season with the Cowboys game. That was pretty good for the Cowboys. I'm a big Cowboys fan. Terrible for the Falcons. And so, yeah. But now we're going to get into the video. Let's start off with the Thursday night game. And it was the Bears versus the Buccaneers. And the Bears upset the Buccaneers 2019 with the Bears win. Tom Brady threw for 253 yards, but didn't know what down it was. On the last play of the game, he thought it was third down, so he was like, and so he threw this like covered pass, and so he didn't know what down it was. And then Ronald Jones rushed for 106 yards, and Allen Robinson had 90 receiving yards. So, great game for the Bears and the Buccaneers. Now for the Cardinals versus the Joe Flacco Jets. The Cardinals actually won 30-10. I was expecting this. Sam Darnold's shoulder injury. And they're talking about trading him if they get the number 1 pick. Because, they could pick Trevor Lawrence or somebody like that. But Kyler Murray has a great game with 380 passing yards. So, great game by Kyler Murray. Kenyon Drake rushed for 60 yards with the TD. And DeAndre Hopkins goes off again. He's going to be the number 1 receiver in the league today because Kyler Murray has really nobody other to throw to. He's got Christian Kirk. I really do like Christian Kirk. I don't know if you can see anything A&M right now, but biggest A&M fan, and so Christian Kirk's my guy. But D-Hop goes off for 131 yards receiving. And then the Jaguars versus the Texans. We had the Gardner Minshew Texans versus the Deshaun Watson Texans. Wait, I just said the Gardner Minshew Texans. Gardner Minshew Jaguars and the Deshaun Watson Texans, and the Jaguars took the L in this game, only scoring 14 points, and the Texans scoring 30, and so we had a Texans W. And then the Deshaun Watson goes for 359 passing yards. David Johnson has 96 rushing yards. He's kind of looking like himself again. And then Brandon Cooks absolutely went off for 161 yards and a TD. So, great job by Brandon Cooks. He's coming back. And then the Eagles versus the Steelers game. I was watching this game because we only get 2 12 o'clock games. It's the Jaguars and the Texans, and the Eagles and the Steelers, or that's the only 2 we got yesterday on TV. I was kind of flipping off just to see because when it went, And so the Eagles took the L here versus the Steelers, 38-29 Steelers. But Carson Wentz had 258 passing yards, kind of had no picks, which was really good for him. Miles Sanders has 80 rushing yards. And then Chase Claypool absolutely goes off with 110 yards receiving and 3 TDs, including a rushing TD. That's amazing for Chase Claypool. He's a rookie wide receiver. Not a lot of people know him, but he's a beast. And then now for the Panthers versus the Falcons. This is why Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff got fired, I think. They took the Panthers are a great team. But, the Falcons just haven't been winning. But Panthers 23 versus Falcons, who scored 16 points. So Teddy Bridgewater threw for 313 yards. Todd Gurley had 121 rushing yards. So Todd Gurley's kind of coming back. And then Calvin Ridley goes for 136 receiving yards. Calvin Ridley, that's a round of applause. Round of applause for Brandon Cooks too. Round of applause for DeAndre Hopkins. And so, round of applause for everybody. And then Bengals versus the Ravens. Bengals scored only 3 points against his number one Ravens defense, and the Ravens scored 27 points. And like I said, the Ravens defense was the story of the game. Still, Joe Burrow had 183 passing yards against that defense, which is not too good, but which was better than Lamar Jackson's 180 passing yards. Joe Mixon had 59 rushing yards, and then Marquise Brown went for 77 receiving yards. And for the Rams versus the Washington football team, the Rams took the W here, 30-10. But it was the return of Alex Smith. He didn't really do anything like too crazy. He just had 37 passing yards. He didn't go in for that long. Kyle Allen got hurt. Nobody really knows what he got hurt with yet. I don't think it was anything too serious. But Kyle Allen had 74 passing yards and a rushing touchdown. But Jared Goff went for 309 passing yards. Cam Akers had 61 rushing yards, and Gerald Everett went for 90 receiving yards. Now for the Raiders versus the Chiefs, I would call this the game of the day. I was watching this one too because after it finished one of the games, it went straight to this one. And so it was Raiders versus Chiefs, but the Raiders pulled it out against the Chiefs offense, 40-32. By the way, shout out to Jeff Heath, great pick. He was just playing center field, just picked it straight off of Patrick Mahomes, and returned it for a good margin. And then Derek Carr goes for 347 passing yards. He was the player of the game, I would say. Josh Jacobs went for 77 rushing yards and 2 TDs. And Henry Ruggs the third went for 118 receiving yards. So great game by the Raiders. For giving the Chiefs the L. And then the Dolphins versus the 49ers. The Dolphins just blew out the 49ers, 43-17. Ryan Fitzpatrick went for 350 passing yards. Raheem Mostert went for 90 rushing yards. And Preston Williams breaks out for the Dolphins, having 106 receiving yards and a touchdown. So, Preston Williams, I would call you the player of the game. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, great game. And so, yeah. And then just great game for the Dolphins overall. And then the Giants versus the Cowboys. The Cowboys did inch out the Giants with a game-winning field goal by Greg the Leg Zuerlein, 37-34. But the story of the game was the ankle injury that Dak Prescott suffered. Huge shout out to him. Just get better soon. And I know you'll come back better than ever. And he had surgery last night. His brother Tad took a picture, posted it, and it looks like he's doing okay. And it said 6 months at least, which is just terrible. So I hope Dax gets better soon, and I know he'll come back better than ever. And then Daniel Jones goes for 222 passing yards. Ezekiel Elliott went for 91 rushing yards, and CeeDee Lamb had 124 receiving yards. And like I said, great kick by Greg the Leg Zuerlein. We call him Greg the Leg at our house because when he made that kick versus the Falcons, when he made the onside kick, and then he made a game-winning kick yesterday, on that 34-yard field goal. And so, yeah. And then now for the Colts versus the Browns. The Colts took the L on this one, 23-32. Browns win. Baker Mayfield goes for 247 passing yards. Kareem Hunt rushes for 72 yards. And Jarvis Landry has not had 88 receiving yards. And so, yeah, so great win by the Browns versus the Colts. Philip Rivers Colts. And then the Vikings versus the Seahawks. This was a great game. I was watching it. Like, this was literally just an amazing game. And so, yeah, let's get straight into it. So the Vikings had 26 points. You thought that would be enough, but no, the Seahawks had 27 points for the W. And the Vikings went for it on 4th and inches. I would have gone for the field goal. The announcers were saying they would have gone for it. I wouldn't have. I mean, they didn't get it on 4th and inches. So, and then Kirk Cousins goes for 249 passing yards. Alexander Madison rushes for 112 yards. And so Dalvin Cook left the game after his first play of the. He left the game in the second quarter. He had 65 rushing yards just in the first quarter. That was more yards than the whole Seahawks offense. But then he went out. But then Alexander Madison, he came back out, played one play in the third quarter, and then just went out. But Alexander Madison, he had a great game for 112 yards. DK Metcalf has a great game with 93 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. So I'm a big fan of DK. I know he gets into some fights with some guys. He pushed somebody last night. They almost got into a fight. But I'm a big fan of DK. I just love how he plays. He always wants the ball when he's running his routes. And so, yeah. And then now for the prediction games. So for the Monday night game, it's going to be the Chargers versus the Saints. And I've got the Chargers winning. So if y'all haven't heard the news that Michael Thomas punched a teammate, I think at practice, and so he won't be able to play. He came back from that ankle injury, but now he won't be able to play. So I don't feel like the Saints can win because Drew Brees, favorite quarterback in the NFL right now, but he needs to have a main wide receiver. Without it, I don't know what he can do. It's like, he needs a main wide receiver. Like, they have Deontay Harris, who's a big weapon for them, but that's pretty much like it. They have Traquan Smith, which is, not the best wide receiver. So he's got to have his main wide receiver. And then for the Tuesday game, due to the virus, we have to schedule games on Tuesday now. But it's going to be the Bills versus the Titans because the Titans had that outbreak. I got the Bills winning. Bills are looking great this season. Josh Allen is looking great. And so, yeah, and that's the end of the video for me. But the shout-out goes to, I already gave the shout-out to Dak. But we're going to have another shout-out because I don't know if y'all heard, but the Lakers have won the 2020 NBA title. I had them winning the whole time. LeBron's 4th title in the bubble. And that's going to be pretty legendary. You could say the Lakers won the title in the bubble. And just shout out to NBA. Like, that's such a great idea to do it at the Disney resorts. And so just great job by NBA. Great job by the Lakers. Good job by the Heat, to force a Game 6. But yeah, so thank y'all for watching. Make sure y'all subscribe, like the video, and share this with your friends. And see ya. Bye.